podcast. I'm Jay Cutter, this is T's Chef. Today we have the lovely Miss Lucy Pollard in the building. Framed around Mental Health Awareness Month. And we're going to be talking about men's mental health and the lack thereof. Mainly the lack of recognition. Also, we're going to touch on a couple of different areas, but if you would introduce yourself to the people one more time.
Sure will. Hello, everyone. My name is Lucy Pollard, and I am a licensed professional counselor, and I also work in the reentry field as a therapist. So, hello. I'm glad to be here today. Thank you, fellas, for having me again.
Our pleasure.
We were blessed so handsomely the first time we had to bring them back.
Right.
Because after that, I felt like I was in therapy myself.
Good evening.
She got a lot of stuff talking and moving for me, and I hope anybody that was listening. So
Yeah.
So
You definitely helped out.
and we need most definitely. I know for me, when I reached out for you to come back here, and again this morning when we was talking, that focus on the stigma that comes with, I guess, reaching out for help, and it's something that if somebody's out there listening, how can you maybe, I guess, reassure them that it's okay to reach out? If you got something going on,
I would say it's okay not to be okay. None of us are Superman, Superwoman. None of us are perfect. We all have stress and challenges. Like if we needed help with anything else, there's no stigma around going to get the help. If you need help on something with your car, there's no stigma on being a mechanic. If something going on with your body, there's no stigma with going to the doctor to get your blood pressure checked, whatever checked. But when it comes to mental health, there's a stigma. And I think a lot of stigma rests in misinformation and myths and just people who are uninformed and who just don't know. And I hope that if anybody's listening that need help, go get the help that you need. People don't talk about if you go get help or not. Why not go ahead and get help and make the decision to take care of yourself and do what's best for you? But how can we obtain and maintain the lives that we want and reach these goals if we're not taking care of ourselves? It all starts with our mental. Our mental impacts everything that we do, good or not so good. So why not put our best foot forward and take care of that like we would take care of anything else?
Right.
So if you need help, get the help that you need. I can't stress that enough. There's so many people suffering. The prisons are overrun with people who I personally feel they could have had some help, a diagnosis, some information, some guidance. They wouldn't be there. So just taking care of yourself is the best thing we can do. And part of that is mental. That's not just physical, but mental as well. So 988 is a hotline that you call at any point. If you have insurance, if you don't have insurance, there are ways to get help. So that we're not stewing in it and suffering unnecessarily.
To kind of add to what you said on that is, mental health is not a weakness.
Amen.
It's a situation. We affiliate weakness with mental health, and it's a traditional thing. Because I always tell people that tradition is stronger than teaching. I can show it to you on paper, but if grandma and them didn't do it,
Yes, Lord.
you don't care nothing about what I'm talking about.
Yes, Lord.
So it's like we got to break away from, basically we hold generational curses like that.
Hold it with everything.
You know what I'm saying?
Scared to put it down.
They don't pursue us.
Yes.
Curses, the generational curses don't pursue us. We hold on to them.
Yes,
So it's like, I told a guy, man, we was in the shop one day, I said, man, we deserve mental health attention if no one else does. Our people have been through so much. If you just read our history, your mental health is damaged. Just off the
secondary PTSD.
You didn't have to do anything else but read it, and your mental health is damaged that moment. So, but then you look at where we are now, And I, you know, cause I want to get your opinion on something. That's why I'm so glad you're here today. There was an article, or rather a video, that was released talking about a situation with some guy. They were saying he was going to get life in prison. And no, I'm sorry, the death penalty. And they said, no, don't kill him. Look at him, look how strong he is. Look how much work we're gonna get from him. Look how many years we can get. See, and it's like
Free labor.
free labor.
I seen that.
You saw, okay, I didn't know if it was, you know what I mean, because they are out of control, so I don't know what's going on.
That was real.
And so the thing about it is, when you look at things like that, and you try to place yourself in 2026 as if things are gone, things have changed, they're not, y'all. Okay, so the thing that we have to understand is, give your black men a break. I'm sorry. I know everybody wants to throw this high, crazy standard on black men, like we're really made out of steel, titanium, whatever you want to call it. We're not. All it is that we don't want to sit around and talk about it because we don't want to hear you call us weak for forever. And in a lot of family situations, that's where the men are. They've been relied on as pillars, and so when I saw that particular video, it disturbed me because it brought me back mentally. It brought me back to when we were on the block being sold. Because it's just a reminder of no matter where you are, there's still a place that you could be. So in your mind, that never leaves. To me, when weird, dangerous stuff hangs in your brain, that's mental health. That causes bad mental health to me. You know what I mean? I think it makes your daily journey hard. Because, you know, everybody don't have a TV chef in their life.
Right.
Everybody don't have, you know what I'm saying, Miss Lucy. Everybody can't call people like us.
Yes.
To just chop it up.
Chop it up.
Not even if it's a cup of coffee,
Right.
and see what the heck going on in the world right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Safe
We don't have
space.
those outlets, you know. So I just wanted to throw that out there to just be like, do you see those kind of challenges daily in your line of work?
Yes, so as I was saying earlier, I am a re-entry therapist, so I work with justice involved individuals. Some people are coming straight home from SCDC, some people are on probation, and have PO and everything. And I do see a lot of the same things, a lot of those mindsets. And in one of my groups, I talk a lot about us having to be okay letting go some of the things that we were taught by our caregivers. They gave us the best they had. But it's okay to admit that that best isn't serving you in your life now. Because a lot of the things, and I agree with you 200, I think a lot of our men were given certain things. You can't cry, you're a boy, man up. So then in that child's mind, I can show anger. And then our environments, the things they're seeing on TV, the things we're consuming, the models that we have, these messages are being implanted very, very early on. And then we end up with the fill on the block, or whatever the situation may be, where they don't know how to express their feelings, they don't know how to problem solve. Well, I can't cry, so I can show anger. Right. I can't cry, but I can roll up. I can't cry, but let me get this bottle. And so then people start self-medicating, people start trying to avoid their feelings, or they're trying to control them. And so I do see that every single day. Every single day. And again, I'm not knocking anybody, because I think people did the best they could. In some cases, it's arguable. We can go argue like that. But people, we can't change what we were given. However, we can change what we do going forward with it. And what you were saying earlier is people hold on to tradition. Like, it's so intertwined with their identity that they feel like, hey, if I decide to be a man, and if I decide to be a man that talks about my feelings, that's like I'm disgracing or being
now you're weird.
Yeah. And now I'm not being loyal to my grandma or my grandpa who told me I'm a man, I'm not supposed to do that. And I'm like, well, two things can be true at one time. That, hey, that's what they gave you, that's what you were taught, but you can also admit that, hey, set that down,
Right.
set that tradition down, and do something different.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, our actions have a consequence, positive or negative. We can't control everything. However, we can make decisions that kind of put us in the best foot forward. But if we don't take care of our mind, and we have things lingering, things that are unhealed, I believe that you have to name it to heal it.
Right.
If you don't name it, how can you heal it? There was an article from a psychologist who said, and again, I don't know if it was AI or not, but I like the material. He was saying one of the big differences between people who overcome their challenges versus people who don't is that the people who overcame their challenge addressed it. They put words to it. But a lot of times our kids, our people don't have the language. They don't know how. They don't feel good being able to say, man, this is hard.
Yeah.
My feelings are hurt.
Judging them saying,
Yeah.
you're weak.
Oh, listen. Yes, Lord. But then when this person is in a relationship or this person is at a job and they're feeling something big and they're having these large emotions, they're having these conflicting emotions, they don't know how to talk about it. So then they spaz out and then they're in prison. Now they're giving free labor, cheap labor, whatever it is. Now they're taken out of the community. Now they're taken out of the homes. So that's why mental health is so important because, again, everything that we have and everything that we are is based off of it. Who we become as a person, our decisions we made, how we dress, how we eat, how we take care of ourselves, how we show up for our family, everything that we build and we have is based on our mental health. So if it's not in a good space, how we gonna get these things to keep time out?
Those old guys, just one quick thing and then I'm out.
Oh, you do.
But the old people, because I was raised by old school, like
Mhm.
literally way older
Mhm.
than mine, they felt like if I paid the bills,
Mm-hmm.
that's my love.
Yep.
That's telling you I love you. That's showing you
That's
that I care. This is what I'm gonna do. Is make sure there's food in the refrigerator,
Mm-hmm.
on the plates. We're not gonna starve. We're gonna have our house will be taken care of. Those are the things that old school people, which is the ones you're talking about who didn't pass along how to talk about your emotions. Those are the things that they contain their emotions in.
Yep.
They're like, look, my emotions are right here.
Yep.
Go pay the bills, baby. Go
That's
to the
it.
grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
Here, make sure the kids have what they need.
Mm-hmm.
That's love in old times. You know what I'm saying? But and that's just to I just wanted to interject that because that's what I saw,
Mm-hmm.
and it damaged me in my early marriage.
Mm-hmm.
See, because I was thinking I owed you no explanation.
Mm-hmm.
See, once I done put the bread out, enough said.
What does that talk about?
King Adams is peace. How far away from the truth I was.
Right. And
My
that's
thing
the I ain't gonna say necessarily the issue, because with my dad, it was different. You know, the mental strain I had as a child was something that nobody knew, but it wasn't like he was putting me under anything, or neither one of my parents. I didn't understand, or nobody slowed it down to me that they were teaching me how to become what I needed. You know what I mean? You just look like, damn, man, why they always on me?
Mm-hmm.
And in your mind, I had got to the point where I was saying to myself, literally, these people do not like me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, honestly. And it wasn't until I had a conversation one day with actually my mother-in-law. And she said to me, she looked me right in the face, she said, you wondering why your dad calls on you. She said, it has nothing to do with you being the oldest. She said, he does that because you're gonna get it done.
Mhm.
And it kind of broke. It kind of made me feel like, damn, I all this time I just thought these people didn't like me. And the effect that it had on me as a child. You know, and still to this day, I know a lot of people, but I only deal with a handful. I know a ton of people.
Right.
You hear what I'm saying? But it's my group is my group.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and in helping me to become who I do I got it all figured out? No. People, I don't know why people think that. I don't. And if I ain't got the answer for it, I have to find it. But I ain't got it all. I ain't got the answer for everything. But it's about how you carry yourself when you don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? As you know, what it does to your mental. I can tell you days that, dude, it was dark. It was heavy. Especially those the high school years where, you know, you seeing your partners, they either, you know, they out dating and driving and going to the games and doing all this kind of stuff. And some of them even got kids, and you know, at that age, and you going like, damn, man, like, what is it about me, especially when you look at it, trying to entertain a young lady that just ain't appealing. So I was hard on myself. You know what I'm saying? You know, maybe it's, you know, your body don't look right, you ain't built this way, you ain't got the paper, you ain't got the clothes, or whatever. So it brought me. I was just floating along, dog. You know, when I could have been so much better if I had essentially somebody to talk to. Because I kind of, and later on, I figured that out that, you know, it was just more than me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the only one feeling like how I was feeling. You know what I mean? And you know, you break. And I broke by myself. And luckily for me, I was in high school. There was a lady named Miss Carey. And Miss Carey came along with a group called the Natural Helpers. I'll never forget it. And the trick to being into this whole club thing though was you had to be voted by your peers. So it ain't like running for class president where, you know, Papa Kid win, No, the question was asked, who is it in this school that's among your peers that you go to if you had an issue and you need somebody to talk to? Well, it was a handful of us that they selected based off of what kids were telling her. And we all, you know, it was a nice group of us, probably 12 of us. And I was ecstatic that people would think that because I didn't understand. I was a counselor that needed to be counseled, but was doing it for my peers and wasn't even paying no attention. It's just a way of life. You know, that's something I know I took directly from my father because that's who he was. You know, he was a problem solver with problems. You know what I'm saying? So that type of deal. So you know, you gotta catch it and make sure that especially the young people that's around you, give them a safe space to say, hey man, I need to talk. You know, I went through it, especially raising my son, because he is so much different on the outside. You know, people see us and be like, it don't match. Not knowing that he's still my son and what he had to go through when people start trying to tell him, well, you ain't a part of that family because you don't look like you're a part of that family. You know, and then him not being, he thinking that if he tell me, it's gonna be something that's scary. You know what I'm saying? Not understanding that he just needed to talk.
Get off his chest.
Get off his chest, you know what I mean? So, you know, I applaud anybody that can see it early. But we gotta work on the safe space aspect for not just the kids, for the human, you know, the grown-ups too.
Yes,
There's a lot of the grown-ups that's holding stuff
Yes, Lord.
that they just will
On
not
edge.
loose on edge
On edge.
because they feel like the minute they tell somebody gonna stick it on social media. You know what I mean? Or somebody gonna, I remember going to church with this one church, this is my first time going, and the preacher said something that never left me. He said, there's people right in this church this morning that's hurting, and the only reason why they will not come and say anything to anybody is because of the time they leave, it will be everybody's business. Everybody know about it. And he's sitting in the church saying this. That's what we done got to, is that we gotta, we ain't holding it to help anybody, we holding it to podcast.
Yes.
You know?
Everybody wanna get paid off the content. Everybody wanna have something to talk. Everybody wanna have that inside seat.
And I was like, God, I just imagine what we would be if you created that same enthusiasm to be a safe space for somebody to come and talk. How much better we would be, you know, as not just human beings, but especially as black men, because we don't have it. Because just the way that we would talk, like you said, that man, you better not break no tears, because if you break a tear, they can see that's weakness. Maybe that works inside your little walls. You know what I mean? But for the outside folks, you're gonna have to let that kid cry.
But it worked during the old slave times because you were outside. You were in front of someone that was testing you constantly, that was trying to see what's it gonna take to break you. So those moments of not crying, that worked.
It was survival.
It was their survival tactic.
It was passed down though.
Yeah.
Like recipes.
And survival.
It was passed down like
You
recipes.
know,
Survival recipes.
but it was no longer needed
Yes.
in our day-to-day life. It was no longer needed. The problem was the evolution of woman. Let me breathe in that for a second. You know what I'm saying? The evolution of woman changed black men's situation, because as women evolved, they needed more from us, and as we didn't, here comes a gap. Here comes a void. See, here come your other things. You see what I'm saying? Because now a woman is not just needing your security in one or two areas. They need now your emotional security. They need you to talk to them. They want to know what's going on inside of you. They want to be in your head. They want to, you know what I'm saying? Those things, if you're not careful, you'll reflect back to when you were told to shut everybody out.
Keep
You
yourself
know what I'm saying?
Trust no one.
Yeah, that's your safety net type deal. So, explain to me one thing. This is why I brought this up. What can we as men do to open up closed minds that will talk to be closed? Talk to me about it. We digging today. Let's get the shovel out. We digging today.
I think the biggest is being a model, being an example, and healing yourself and being that model. I think that's the biggest thing. Is showing people, because some people literally just don't know. And you know what I mean? Like they literally just don't know. And I do think telling somebody to open up and they don't know what that means, they can bring on a whole lot. They're gonna tell me, well, he said open up, but modeling.
I didn't want to know that.
Hold on, let me call my therapist. Hang on. But you know, like some people don't know, and for some of them, from what's modeled to them and what's in the environment, what they know is tearing it up. Well, you told me to open up, so I felt safe, or it can become something that can be harmful and very hurtful that people can't come back from. But I think the more that we can model it, example, and give people the language, show them the tools, and showing them how to handle things, I think that is one of the biggest things. And just opening the door for that conversation. Sometimes not just waiting on people to leave, because if they don't know, then you're not going to get anywhere, because there are those myths, don't trust anybody. There are some dangerous myths out there. There are some dangerous truths that people are holding on to. I tell everybody this: if you're in a group of friends and you can't trust not one person, maybe you need to agree. You need to agree, because there's power in community. Your story about being voted into that national league, that is healing. When we have positive community, but I think along with that also comes truth. And sometimes people don't want to hear the truth. Some people don't want to acknowledge that their homeboy, Shawty Low, or whoever is not a good person for them to be around. They don't want to admit that going back on 12th or 13th Street ain't the place they need to be. They don't want to admit that sometimes they are the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
I think part of this stuff comes is a lot of honesty, and sometimes people don't want to feel honesty. They don't want to feel the hurt of it. But when we can learn to sit with our emotions, feel them, but you don't have to act on them.
Right.
You can be mad as I don't know what and still make a productive decision that keeps you safe, free, and protect everything that you love. However, I think so much, if you listen to the music and just all the things, everybody's talking about crashing out. We're living in a day of crash out culture. Where people are like, I'll go do this. I'm like, do you hear yourself?
Right.
You're sacrificing yourself for what?
Right.
You're doing what? But I
You wanna go do 8 hours on the job, but you go do 25 of life to prove that you down, yeah?
holler if you because I don't have any street experience besides being on the sidewalk. However, the stories I have heard, the stories I have
We
heard.
gotta put the stories right
I
on the
am
cover
thank you.
of.
I'm like, I know what it looks like, but I've never lived it. However, I hear the stories of people telling me about how lonely that journey is, how bad their mental health is, and when you're able to put names to it, like, baby, that's anxiety. Oh, baby, that's depression. When we can put the name to these and get some, and people think diagnoses are bad, they're not, they're just guidance. They're guidance that help you get the treatment, the tools, the resources, it may be even prescriptions,
Could you
medications.
say that one more time?
No, the diagnoses aren't bad. They can be guides to
Hear
help
that.
you get what you need.
Hear that.
You can get the therapy that you need. You can get the tools that you need. But when you can name it, you know how to tame it. You know how to deal with it.
Right.
Name it to tame it. But a lot of times, I think again, when it comes to naming something, people get so caught up in titles and labels and stuff, and we can hold ourselves captive
Yeah.
to unproductive cycles.
Yeah.
Wow.
I talk a lot about it in my job. I had to pull up a picture of a carousel, and I said some of us we don't have percent problems. We have cycles. And if you're honest about it and then you look at it, it's the same thing, different day, same thing. But we on the carousel, so it's like we.
Right.
Yeah, moving up and it's still the same thing.
Right.
Not really going anywhere.
Right.
But when we can be honest about it and we can face the hard truths, learn to do things in a productive way that can help us maintain and obtain the lives that we want. But again, I think it's just people being open-minded, but we have to be in a good space because, so like you said, sometimes we can hear some stories from other people. We be like, oh, we're ready for that. But we take care of ourselves. We can show up for other people. We can be the example. We can be the model and say, hey, you know, I know you want to crash out right now, but have you thought about going to meditate?
Right.
Have you thought about going to work out or go do some push-ups?
And that's what I was about to ask you next is, what are when you talk about some of those tools that people can use when they're feeling a certain way to, get them in a better space? I know for me, my wife taught me how to journal.
Yes, Lord.
And I started writing, which I love writing, and that's sometimes when you get those out of the blue text messages from me, you'd be like, that was right on time.
Yes,
It's just
Lord.
something that I feel. I send them to everybody that's in my circle, and I
They be clutch.
I
In the
just
moment.
write, and once I got that book and just started, okay, this is how I'm feeling today. Let me take 10, 15 minutes and just write it out. And sometimes, like, seeing it on paper will help me make, like you say, that productive decision. Like, okay, you can see where you was going here, but if you make this left turn, this way it's gonna head. But if you stay here with what you done written down, this gonna be a better option type deal. And so I know for me, journaling helped, and definitely weightlifting
Yeah.
help. Just that when you get that, almost like that unresolved anger, something in there,
Channel it.
and it is the best workout ever. You come out there, you exhausted, you sweaty, you all of that. Guess what? Whatever was right there that had you so, you just took it out on some steel that ain't got no feelings.
Right.
It ain't gonna hurt from your words or what you was thinking, and you done. The whole thing just goes away. But those two would be for me. But can you name a few others that might help?
Yes, deep breathing. People like, oh, that's corny. Deep breathing actually is one of the number one thing. You can do it. No one can know about it.
It does work.
It works, and it gets oxygen to your brain because a lot of times what happens is when we feel big emotions sometimes, just like when you're working out and somebody like breathe, we stop breathing. So then oxygen isn't getting to our brain. That emotion is driving the seat. But when we can sit and 6 in, 6 out, however, and if you're looking for it, there are apps, Calm, YouTube have free deep breathing, square breathing exercises. That is a powerful thing. Walking away and maybe going to exercise, journaling, getting it off your heart and mind. Writing is cathartic because it's engaging multiple senses, and you can write, listening to music, praying, using your spirituality as a tool. go pray and call on your higher power. And I don't care who you call on. I call on Jesus. But you know, those are some good things right there. You have it on calm. It is great, like deep breathing. Yes, and having safe people to talk to. If you don't have safe people to talk to, then I'm going to ask you to reevaluate your circle and face some hard truths and make space for the right people. I think it's Steve Harvey that says, "Show me your 5 friends and I'll show you your life." It is important to surround ourselves around good, solid people, because the truth of it is we can't do this thing called life by ourselves. We all have strengths and challenges in our lives, and it's beautiful when you can have a group of people who complement each other. You know what I mean? My challenge is your strength. You know, we can pour into each other, and those good people are out there. I feel sad for people who's like, "Oh, there's no good people." I feel sad for people like that because I know that to be false. There are good people, and then you know, if you have to get a therapist, get a therapist. There's nothing wrong with seeking professional help. Support groups. There are virtual support groups. There are in-person support groups. There are NAAA grief support groups, because life is hard, but we can choose our hard. We can choose to stay in a cycle. We can choose to make a change. We can choose to stay overweight, or we can choose to work out. All of it's hard. Being financially disciplined is hard, but being in debt is hard. So choose your hard, you know? But the good thing about it is knowing that we have people, places, and things out there that can help us. There are people out there that will help you. There are people who will listen, but just figuring out what works for you, because what worked on Monday might not work Tuesday, coping skill wise. What worked on Tuesday might not work Thursday. So having just a few things in your toolbox. Some people like to do music, some people like to draw, cook, some people have to go to a meeting, some people have to figure out what that is for you, because we can face life and get through it. We don't have to self-medicate, because a lot of times people self-medicate, you're probably still there. And the likelihood that things have been made worse is very high. You know what I mean? People, pulling up, doing this and that, and it can lead to other things. It can lead to other accidents. It can lead to other things. It can lead to other behaviors. But we can manage through life. We can get through everything. All of us have gotten through 100% of everything we've been through. We wouldn't be sitting right here if we hadn't. You know what I mean? But we can take those hard experiences and say, hey, what did I learn from this? What can I learn from this, and how can I move forward? Don't sit in it. Accept it. Sit in that hurt. And then what coping skills can I put? And I just named a few of them, but I think the deep breathing, journaling, music, exercise, taking a walk, praying, scripture, meditation, good friends. Those are some of the ones that are common for people, but figuring out what that looks like for you. Taking care of you is not selfish, it's necessary.
So before all of that takes place, one thing I figured out, you have to understand why you attract the kind of people you attract. Because people always say there are no good people, no good men, there's no good this, no good that. That might be because there's no good coming from you. So we have to understand that life is a law of attraction. And especially when you deal with energy. Your energy attracts what matches your energy. You always wonder why you get a hellraiser at home, because you're a hellraiser inside. Okay? Quiet people don't attract hellraisers. They only allow them to be around. You don't attract them. So we got to see what's really attracting us to the things and people that are tearing our life up. It's like, well, we need to fix those things that's in us that thinks those things are okay to begin with.
Yes.
First of all, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So I was that's why I love how you really worded that, because we don't understand, look, man, nobody forces anybody to be with anyone. And your mental health a lot of times doesn't show up until you're in relationships, till you get kids, till you get to a certain place. See, when you by yourself, you ever realize if you poot, it ain't so bad when you're in a room by yourself. Somebody got to see where I'm at. If you poot by yourself,
the crowd room.
but do you hear me? When you ain't got about 2 or 3 feet, and the next nose is right down here standing.
You see how bad
You sit tight. You sit tight. Your nose sweat. You sit tight.
Holding the knee.
You're like, yeah, buddy, can't wait for the break. break it. I'm gonna turn it all the way up out there. You understand me? You know what I mean? But that's how I feel about mental health, and like we really just honestly don't want to tackle it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to tackle it, and it's like, this is the thing. Seeing a black woman in the position to give them. Now here's the dilemma. Another black person been able to receive from you.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
See, if you're a white lady, we receive from you all day long, no questions asked, no nothing.
Sometimes they
White men, no nothing. We'll receive that. Yeah, well, he said that, you know, it's right here. It's right
But
here.
if you hear from us, what her credentials is?
Oh,
Right. Right. What school she went to?
Oh, I had to explain before, baby. I have 3 degrees from Clemson University.
Right.
I am a licensed
See
professor,
what I'm
and I
saying?
have been. And so sometimes it is hard to receive treatment from certain people, because I realize, in my essence as a black woman, I represent something different for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I can remind them of a cousin, a auntie, a baby mama, a teacher, and it can be good and or not so good. And I have to keep that in my mind, because, so that when I'm working with people, I don't take anything personal. Because I don't know what I represent. I've had some who, they're not honest, because I guess they're trying to like show, and I'm like, honey, this is my career. I'm not in here playing matchmaker. I'm not here trying to I'm in here wanting you to get the best for you. So I do think as people are going in to get the treatment, being open and willing to receive, to see what that person has from you. Because sometimes we miss the message because of the messenger.
Yeah.
And when you try to, we try to look at it and our mind goes the other way. And if you're in a situation where you have the choice to pick out what type of provider you want, pick out the one that you're truly comfortable with. And if you're not comfortable with the black person, hey, that's fine. Get what you need. However, I do hear a lot of people who are also grateful because of the cultural competency piece. I had one person one time trying to explain to me like what a liquor house and a ticket house was. And I was like, sir, I don't know what a ticket house is.
Right. Are you serious?
But he was so, he was like,
You know who you're talking to?
but he was just so happy. And then just, I feel like, bust our therapy session wide open, because he was like, she understands, I don't have to sugarcoat, I don't have to hide, I can be authentic. So finding a provider or someone who you can be authentic, because he was trying to explain to me, I said, you talking about a ticket house? We play the lottery? He's like, yes sir, I know about that. So being honest about, what you need and who you're comfortable with, and therapists are humans too, we're not perfect people, and so just kind of coming in with those things in mind, because sometimes that does get in the way. Some people aren't willing to receive because in their mind I represent whatever, and our perceptions are reality.
Yeah, and that conditioning is real.
It is.
So
Oh, yes.
For me and him, we've talked about it several times.
Yes.
Just in business, like how they approach him in catering and how they
Yes.
approach me in barbering.
Yes.
It's when we meet each other, we feel like no matter what we've accomplished, we're on the same level. You see what I'm saying? It's like I can negotiate with you because of us being of the same skin.
Sometimes you get in the way.
Oh, I can negotiate with you. So, well, wait a minute. First of all, you know what I'm saying? It's like, wait a minute. You need to be a little more humble than that, okay? Because you need my service. Just like when they approach him, they need food. When you approach me, you need a cut. So that means, guess what? I need silence from you.
Like, let's keep it respectful.
You have to, because I hate to see it to where you go to others who are going to give you what they feel like you deserve. Now, we're looking out as much as we can, because that's just who we are. But you'll still come to us expecting more, but you'll go lay down outside of the culture. But see, you don't realize your healing is within the culture. Because see, as much as you may remind them of someone, you also remind them of the elders. See, they don't understand that. See, that's where the healing takes place. See, you got the wisdom and the knowledge of them. Now you're bringing that to 2026. And what we're going through, so you're able to apply it all. That's healing to me.
And if they want to receive it, they can. But if they don't want to, you can lead a horse to water.
There you
can't
go.
make them
There
drink.
you go. Let them be thirsty right there with grass in their mouth.
Yeah, and so
Yes.
just trying to respect them and trying to let people, give people the autonomy to make the decisions for their lives, because, you know,
Right.
there's some people who don't want to change. There's some people who, that fear of the unknown. A lot of people
that's
have
true.
gone through, and I try to keep that in mind
That's
when
true.
working with people. A lot of people have had a lot of issues with trust and hurt, and they have, like, it's legitimate, and just trying to meet them where they are, and just being like, well,
That's
hey,
right.
if I'm not the one for you, go find somebody who you're comfortable with.
Yeah, because we got to remember mentors haven't worked out. And,
Yes.
yeah, that's real. That's a real point of view.
And something too that I want to remind people that kind of goes with what you said about the healing that's needed, because we're the common denominator in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
I take me everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm having issues every single place, everywhere I go, with everybody I meet, in every relationship, everything, baby, there's a simple rule of math called the common denominator.
Yeah,
Right.
and
So
you are it.
Mike Jackson said, man in the mirror.
Right,
So sometimes
right.
we have to be honest about that and heal those things, because when we heal ourselves and we get to know ourselves better, we can know what boundaries we need, we can know how to protect ourselves, we know what's best for us, and we're in a good sound mind, and we're in hopefully a clear mental space where we can make these decisions.
Mhm.
We can attract and obtain and maintain the productive relationships. We can obtain and maintain these jobs. We can keep our stability. But if we're not in a good space and we're not feeling good about ourselves, our self-esteem is low, you know, we got some unhealed traumas, we may accept anything. We may put up with anything because we're not in a good space mentally. But when we can heal ourselves, I ain't gotta deal with it.
Right.
I'm like, let me talk about this boundary. Oh, let me see how I can show up in this. It puts us in a better space, in a better place when we take care of ourselves in all capacities, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, spiritually. When we can take care of ourselves as a whole package, you get a different person.
Mm-hmm.
And we show up differently for ourselves and other people in our lives.
Well, but one of my last questions is, you know, if you could give a message to someone who's silently struggling right now, what would your message be?
You are not alone. There are people who care. There are people who will navigate this journey with you. All you have to do is speak up and take care of yourself. Right now it feels heavy, and it is heavy. You will get through it, and you can get through it in a way that causes no hurt, harm, or damage to your life. It may hurt along this journey, but you can and will heal from the hurt, and you will grow stronger from it. You are stronger than whatever you're facing, and there are people, places, and things out there that you can put in your toolbox and utilize to help you get through it. 988 is a hotline. Reach out to them. There is a warm voice on the side of that line at all times. And just being open and willing to let people in to help you. Not everyone out here is aiming to hurt you. And no, people can't fix everything, but people can walk the journey with you. Take care of yourself. Better days are coming.
Wow. Much needed words. That's called a wrap up, because she put it all together and put that thing in the basket. Well, I just want to personally thank you on behalf of us, man. I know y'all family and everything, but I'm just appreciative that you do your due diligence, that you see there's nothing like a knowledgeable person in their field. Nothing like it. Because I'll be honest with you, a lot of people go pass the test, get the paperwork, but don't know damn thing about what they're doing. You licensed to do it, yeah, but you suck. Because you don't do no research after that. You know what I'm saying? But like you really, I look at how you're cultivating what you do. You making your craft fit 2025, 2026, coming on into 2020. You know what I'm saying? I see how you're making it fit for where we are and where we're going. So that is much appreciated. Because we get a lot. I know I do. I know he said he does as well. We get a lot from you when we're around you. On your show, you really open up some areas that we may have been thinking about but didn't think were important. Or there were areas that we didn't think were key to the movement, but you're showing a lot of light on some areas that needed to be lit up. So we really appreciate your time and your, like I say, your studies and paying attention to the details.
Mhm.
Right.
That's the devil's in the details.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then we get that, you know, like I say, I appreciate you though.
Yeah, and as we wrap this up, that last, I know you mentioned the 988 number. Is there any other resources that may be available to people
Yes.
that they can reach out to?
Yes, some other resources is NAMI Greenville, it's the National Alliance of Mental Illness. They have a hotline, they actually have a location as well. Of course, the Department of Mental Health, if you need something, emergency, go to Department of Mental Health. You can even go to the hospital, because sometimes when people are not mentally in a good space, they can put themselves and others at harm. Maybe going to the hospital. There are many resources out there. 988 is my biggest one because you can text it, you can chat it, you can call it, and they will get you to a local resource, and that's easy to remember. But don't sell yourself short. Talk to your PCPs, your primary care physicians. Be honest. When they're asking these questions, they're asking for a reason. And if we don't,
Because I've noticed that